afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Artist of Color. My name is Elaine Hall-Corbin, and I am your host. And today I have a special guest. I know all my guests are special, but today I have a special guest because I've only known him a little while, and he's an amazing young man. He's an amazing young artist, if I do say so myself. I've listened to his work, and I am very, very interested in talking to him and seeing how he got to where he is. His name, I'll just call him Munashe. Good afternoon, Munashe. Welcome to Artist of Color.
How you doing, Miss Corbin? Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, I remember when I first met you. You came to my house with Stephen.
Yes, that's right.
Yep,
That's right. I think we were picking up some food for him.
You were moving. We were moving stuff.
That's right. That's right.
But then later, I found out that you were a songwriter, a little bit of a spoken artist, and that you also sang.
I tried.
And I've listened to some of your work from when I'm with Stephen in the car. He's showed me all kinds of stuff that you've done. And I was very interested. I said, I need to have Munashe on my show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that.
So here you are. I want to begin by asking you, where are you from? Tell me exactly where you're from.
Okay, so I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe, March 14, 1994. To be exact, my family's from a suburb outside of Harare called Chadcombe, and that's where I was born and raised for the first 2 years of my life. And then in 1996, myself and my mom, we moved to Boston, Massachusetts, just for seeking a better opportunity and a better life for myself and for her. My Uncle Charles, he lived here. He went to school here, and we've been here ever since.
Do you like Boston? Tell me.
I do love Boston. I really do. I whenever I leave and I come back, I just feel so happy to be back. Like, honestly, like I've grown so accustomed to the city, to the nightlife, to,
oh my,
and stuff like that. Like it's really a great place to grow up. It's really a great place.
I'm glad you feel that way. I was born and raised in Boston too.
Oh, nice.
I'm the Roxbury Boston person.
That's right. There
you go. That's right.
Represent.
I will never leave it. Not if I can help it. So tell me, how did you get started? How did you get started writing? First of all, how did you get started writing?
Okay.
What made you want to write?
Okay. Honestly, so thinking back to like when I was in 8th grade, because 8th grade was kind of like a weird time for me. Like I was about to go to high school, things were changing for me. I wasn't very popular. Like I wasn't very like well known. People knew me because of my name, and people knew like, oh, he plays soccer, he does different things like that. But nobody really knew me for who I was. And I kind of noticed like I was very, very shy, very shy as a kid. So I would write as a voice for me to do things. And I think what inspired me to write was I used to always have my little Walkman and put my headphones in, and I would always like pretend that I was in front of thousands, you know what I mean? Thousands of people. I was in my bedroom, I was just in my bedroom, and I wanted to be that. I wanted to be able to speak in front of thousands, even though I couldn't because I was just an 8th grader. So that's what inspired me to want to start writing, So 8th grade was when I first started writing music for myself.
Do you still have the first piece you ever wrote?
I do.
Have you recorded it?
It's a recording, actually. It actually is a recording. So I'll send it. I'll definitely send it to you. So then when we go back, when you guys go back for editing and stuff, you can play it. But I do have it.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Where did you go to school? So when you came to Boston, what schools did you attend?
Okay, so when we moved to Boston, we lived in various different places. We lived in JP. My mom and I lived in the Nazarene house. I don't know if
I've heard of it. Yes.
Yeah, people are familiar with that. It's a women and children's shelter.
Yep.
So we lived there for the first 2 years. But then when I was 4 or 5, we moved to Waltham. And from kindergarten to 8th grade, I went to Our Lady's Comforter of the Afflicted School. My current girlfriend now, that's where we first met, in kindergarten.
In
Uh,
kindergarten.
yeah, in kindergarten. That's right. That's right.
That's interesting.
Very, very. And in high school, I went to Trinity Catholic High School in Newton,
Okay, I know that
Massachusetts.
place.
Yeah, it's on Washington Street, but it's closed down now, unfortunately. And for college, I was kind of all over the place. My freshman year, I went to Fisher College in
Oh, I
Boston.
know Fisher.
You know, Fisher,
Yes,
yeah, Fisher
I
College.
went there for a little bit.
Oh, you did? Nice. Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
it's a nice location. Very,
It
very nice
is
location.
very low. Yeah, because for me it was good. I was like around the corner from where I lived and everything, so it was
That's right.
perfect.
That's right. You know, and
What did
sophomore
you
year.
take? What did you take there? What did you?
So okay, so I graduated from Salem State University with a degree in psychology. So that's
You
where the
did.
yeah, that's where the
Oh my
books are.
goodness. Okay,
Mhm.
beautiful.
Thank you.
All right. And so where did you go from there?
So after Salem State, I kind of just got into the official workforce of things. I started off working at the Brandon Residential Treatment Center for boys. Great opportunity for me over there, and now currently I work for Doc Wayne Youth Services. So
Really?
yeah,
You seem like you're really interested in helping people.
I am, and my demographic right now is kids, especially like young boys. So
Yes.
if any way, like, and I'm their therapeutic mentor. So I have a list of clients that I see every week. You know, we talk about life, talk about school, talk about the growing pains of just being an adolescent, and I just try my best to help navigate them as best as I can.
And that's where your music comes in.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Yes.
That's what I figured.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
where your music comes. So your music, I was reading your bio,
Yes.
and your bio says that your music comes from your life experiences
Yes. Yes.
and everyday life. If you wouldn't mind and feel comfortable, tell us about what songs that you've written and recorded, and what life experiences did they come from?
Gotcha. So I'll start with my most, I don't want to say the most liked, most popular song.
Okay.
Buy My Mama a House.
Yes, I
Yeah.
love that one.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Corbin. That song really touches a real personal place for me and my family. When I was younger, I was very, very sick. I had a bad case of pneumonia. My immune system just was not sufficient enough to survive like the sort of body that I had, you know.
Wow.
And there were several times, like, just stories, obviously, because I don't, by the grace of God, I don't remember like a lot of the things that I was told, but um apparently, like, I passed away a few times in the arms of family members, and uh my mom would have to travel hours walking distance just to go get medications, and there's a lot that goes into the story, but um Buy My Mama House, the reason why I named that song the way it is because despite everything that myself and my family have gone through, the end goal is to be wealthy enough to retire my mother so that she don't gotta work and pay bills no more. I think that's every young entrepreneur, young person, not even just young, but I think that's everybody's dream and goal is
It's
to,
to buy. Thank you.
you know.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah.
That's beautiful. That is really beautiful. In a little bit, we're going to have you sing for us
Okay.
and
Okay.
do one of your pieces, because I've got the two you sent me, and I've heard them a number of times, so I really like them.
Nice.
What do you do when you're not writing, when you're not performing, when you're not working? What is what do you like to do?
Okay. So as of recently, I'll be honest with you, Miss Corbin. I've I found myself kind of in a bit of a funk, so to speak. Not so much depression, but just
Okay.
like just not really feeling like my true self. It
So,
could just, it just could just be just getting older and dealing with the pressures of life and
did
stuff
you
like
say
that.
getting older?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wiser, wiser. We use maybe, but
Okay, Munashe.
right, right. But in my spare time, what I like to do is I honestly just like just sitting in the room by myself,
Mhm.
watching movies, praying. I've been praying a lot more lately. I don't pray all the time. I'm not like a person who's like always praying, but
Right.
just currently where I'm in my life right now, I find myself praying a lot more. So
COVID will do that to you.
yes, it will. Yes, it will.
COVID will definitely do that to you.
That's right. Oh
You
man,
know,
it's
because
terrible.
I'm an outgoing person and I am not happy being at home all the time.
Ooh, no, no, no,
Oh,
no.
no, no, no.
It's no good.
I hear you. What type of movies do you like?
I like okay, so I love Lion King. Just the first thing that came into my mind, the Lion
I
King.
love that one
You
too.
know, my favorite movie at the Space Jam, the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan. I don't
Oh,
care. I don't
yeah.
care how many times I watch it. I find myself just getting very, 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 very happy watching it. And lastly, like recently, and Steven will tell you this too. He and I, we've both been like heavy on the Last Dance documentary, the documentary about the Chicago Bulls, and
Oh,
yeah, with Michael
okay.
Jordan and all
I
that.
didn't know about that one.
You should check it out, Miss Corbin. It's a real fascinating documentary, and
It's okay. It's a documentary. I can get into that then.
that's
I
right. Yeah,
like
yeah.
documentaries.
Me too. Me too.
There you go.
Mhm.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you plan? What do you want to, what are you hoping to do with your music? Where are you, what is your future movement as far as your writing and your producing?
Okay.
Where do you want to go?
I mean, honestly, Miss Corbin, I would love to. I would love to become a source for young and up and coming artists to reach the next level. I'm at a place. I'm at a place in my career where I'm kind of. Where I feel like I've kind of plateaued. Where I'm
Yes.
kind of just kind of staying like this, and it's unfortunate because of where the music is now and what the kids want to listen to now.
Yeah.
I do my best to always keep it authentic to the hip hop music that I make, and I always do my best to recite the most clever, most witty bars, if you will. but
Okay.
but as far as what I would like for my career moving forward,
Yes.
I would love to hopefully one day be able to work in the presence of those who I admire, and bring relief to
I like that.
yeah, to the world, to
I
music.
like, yeah. How did you meet Jay-Z?
Oh, I didn't meet Jay-Z.
You've never met him.
I never met him. I actually in my bio I actually met a man by the name of Jay Electronica
Okay.
who works with Jay-Z.
Okay.
But as far as how Jay-Z has impacted my life,
Your life.
Jay-Z, he's when I was a little kid, I had a really bad stutter, very really really bad stutter, which kind of which kind of helps me realize why I was so shy as a kid. But when I
Yes.
would yeah, but when I would listen to Jay-Z, like he was just so cool with his words, and he was just so smooth with his delivery, and I wanted that so bad. I wanted to be able to talk and people be like, oh, he's a smooth guy, or no, or he's real smooth with his music and how he does it. So that's like I don't know if I've shown you this, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, this is a sketch
You did that, didn't you?
yes, I did. I drew this in high school, so
In
I just
high
keep it by my
school.
desk for inspiration and stuff like
Inspiration. Go ahead. Let's see that again.
that. Okay.
Yeah. See? Yeah. You're an amazing artist. You like to draw too.
I do. Not so much anymore because of work and everything, but I like to sketch sometimes
You
for
like to
sure.
sketch sometimes.
Yeah.
That's good. Is that the only sketch you've ever done, or have you done others?
Oh no, I've done a
You have
whole
tons of
lot
them.
more, a ton of others, but it's in my sketchbook in my closet. So
Oh, it's hiding.
the move when we moved here, like the boxes got rearranged and stuff. So I haven't seen it in a while, but I have to get to it. Thank you for reminding me.
Ah. Where are you living now? Are you in Boston?
No, I'm in Waltham. I'm still
You're
in Waltham.
living in Waltham.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because we talked a lot about Boston and going around, and I was just wondering if you were here because
I'm very familiar with Boston. I'm
oh, I'm
very,
sure
very
you
familiar with
are.
Boston. Yeah,
I'm sure you are.
yeah.
I actually, I want to come up on you doing a selection for us.
Okay. All
You
righty.
know, I would like to do that. I think we're coming up on that time.
All righty.
And I would like for you to do a selection. I believe the first one was the one we were talking about. It was either buying my mama's house. Let's do that one.
Okay.
I'd love for you to do that. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
All right. Well, for my audience today, I'd like you to know that Munashe is going to do a selection called Buying My Mama a House. When you're ready, Munashe.
Okay. Like every black child, just want to buy my mama a house. I want to pack her things and be out. I want to find the best realtor, no matter what the amount, to show me the best properties the market has out. In fact, let's build from the ground. Let the blueprint show how. The floor plan will map out how many acres to count. Thought I was playing with this, huh? I been thought this thing out, trying to find me a route. Well, y'all thought I had my head in the clouds. In fact, it started with cloud, not the kind that brings rain. I don't mean this in vain, because see, cloud's my father's name. I don't mean to bring my father no shame. I just want to take you back to where my story began, where it all began, back to how I became, back to my grandma's house, back to where I was raised, back way before this rapping thing was a phase. Zimbabwe is the place where this lion was tamed. Me and my mama was attached to the hip, but see, our story didn't start off with bliss, because as a child I was sick. Not sick like the kind when young brothers be nice. I mean sick to where I died in my mom's arms twice. My aunt did CPR in hopes to bring me to life, poured water on my face until my eyes gave sight. Can't believe that I was creeping towards the light. And ever since then, my whole life became a desperate fight, malnourished with no appetite. Just me and my mama, no father in sight. Thank God my Uncle Charles started booking our flight. Thank God my grandmother used her car so we could get on that flight. My whole family had to sacrifice, which is why at 27, man, I'm trying to get right. Man, I gotta get right. Grab the pen, watch me write. By his stripes I was healed, so I gotta thank Christ for keeping me away from the bad juju. What you expect, can't forget my bloodline Zulu. But my legacy is Mututu. Go ask my little cousins, the feeling's mutual. I pray whatever God leads me to do, I hope he covers my soul so I can cast away the evil voodoo. This rap game is evil for sure. That's why I pray the angels keep my soul nice and pure. I'm tired of being broke. I was destined for more. Ain't no time for knocking, dog. I'm kicking the door. You can keep the jewels, the drugs, and the... I just want the paper, dollars, of course. By my sister a Porsche, my little cousin a horse. Put my aunts in velour. Build a family account offshore. And even if I gotta go and bounce on tour, I promise I'll be back and we'll be born some more. I want to build a palace for myself and my spouse. And right next to me, I want to build my mama a house. That's it.
I love that. I love that. I remember when I first heard it.
Thank you. That song's available on all streaming platforms. It's off my latest studio album entitled Toby, Toby, Thoughts of Black Youth. It's the first song on there. So please, y'all, if y'all get a chance to check it out, please do.
Oh, that is amazing. I like that. I like the lyrics and the heart. You know, I like the heart because it's you, it's what you've been through and where you're at now, you know, and the things that you really want to do, you know, and that is amazing. Where now I know you have someone that you work with other people and you guys have a studio?
Yes. So myself and my best friend, my best friend since I was in 8th grade, he's the one, me and him, we picked up the pen together. My best friend, Debo, Derek Barner, we both own Relief Music Group. That's our company. Okay. So we just started up and running last year as an LLC. And, you know,
great.
So we together, it's really me and him together who are the ones pushing and trying to make our dreams come true. And I love Debo so much. He's pulled me out of many dark places as far as like music and self-esteem and stuff like that. So please make sure to check out his music as well. Debo, D-E-B-O.
Debo, I will do that.
Yeah.
You've traveled a lot. I was reading your bio and you've been more places than I've ever been.
It's okay, Miss Corbin.
You've just been all over the place. You've been to Jamaica.
Yes.
You've been to the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
You've been to California.
Yes.
You've been Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
Where did all this traveling come from? What were you doing?
Wow. So
Was
so
this
honestly,
work? Was this music? What was it?
so what it was, so actually what it was, a majority of it was like for for mostly vacation, definitely for vacation and for relaxation. But
Okay.
it no matter where I went or me and Debo went,
You
we
and
always
Debo
try to
went.
make music out of. We always try to make business out of it. So we went to Jamaica for Debo's girlfriend's sister's wedding. Shout out to Laura and Jeff, beautiful couple.
Oh,
So
all
that's how we
right.
were over there. We went to Dominican Republic for Debo's birthday. Shout out to him and his girlfriend. Uh, Brooklyn, I went to Brooklyn primarily for a friend of mine's birthday, but it ended up being a whole different thing. It ended up being just us going to different like historic places of hip hop, and we actually went to Marcy Projects where Jay-Z's from, which was
Okay.
awesome, which was really really cool. And I actually got to somebody actually showed Steven and I the very window
Nope.
where
Stephen was there too, huh?
Steven was there too. Yep, Steven was there too. So it was just a wonderful experience. But the best one, if I could, Miss Corbin, the best
Tell me.
experience I had was in Jamaica because myself and my girlfriend we got to go to Bob Marley's house where he grew up.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, and we got to touch his tomb. And I promise you, Miss Corbin, like when we walked in, because where he's buried next to his mother and his granddaughter, and they built like a chapel to kind of house the tombs. I kid you not, Miss Corbin. Like when we walked in, it smelled like God's perfume, like God's cologne. Honestly, it smelled like
Really?
it had
Guess
such a
what?
great sense.
I was there too.
You was there, also, so
I
you
was
know,
there back in 2019.
so you know.
In my very first trip out of the country, I was on a cruise boat with my children.
Oh, wonderful.
And I went there. I had never been before, ever. I'd never been to Jamaica, you know what I mean?
Says, yep.
And I went to Bob Marley's house. Now they have it where you can only go to certain areas in the house and on the property.
Yep, yep.
So I didn't get to see the tomb.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was this the mansion you guys went to?
we went to the mansion.
Okay,
That's
okay.
is all, and they only let us go to certain areas within the mansion.
Oh,
Also,
beautiful. See,
yeah,
you're lucky. You're lucky you got to see the mansion.
I
Where we went to his childhood home
okay,
in Saint Anne. But
yeah.
I know the mansion was probably beautiful. I know that was,
I couldn't believe it. Amazing,
my goodness.
absolutely amazing.
You guys lucked out.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
What were you doing in Atlanta?
I have family in Atlanta.
Oh, you have
So
family.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
So
maybe you were working in Atlanta too. Because I mean, you've been so many places. I'm looking at this. I'm saying he's been more places than I'll ever be. Like, really?
no, you'll go. You'll definitely go there. You'll definitely.
I'm working on it. Well, see, I have a plan. I know where I want to go.
That's right. That's right.
I know where I want to go.
Godspeed. Godspeed.
Why, thank you, thank you, thank you. What do you want to do? Where do you want to see your music go? Where do you want to see you and Debo's music go? Where do you want to, what area? What are you shooting for? What star are you shooting for?
Honestly, I think I speak for Debo as well when I say this, but I think I'm trying to shoot for the highest star, as high as I can go. But also too, I would love it if people could give my music a chance. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I have a great core following of especially people from Massachusetts who I know who listen to my music. But at the same
Okay.
time, I feel like a lot of people overlook me because I don't have a criminal record. I don't I don't
Yeah, I know.
I don't misogynize women.
Right.
I speak from my truth, as much as I possibly can. And my only fear is that my truth isn't enough for ears to be inspired by. But I mean, that's not the main reason why I do it. But I would at least hope that people will at least give my music a chance. Just give me a chance. And then if you don't like it, then that's fine.
We'll go to the next one.
For sure.
You don't have to stop at one person, Old
Yeah.
saying, one monkey don't stop no show.
No, that's right. I like that.
Okay. My grandmother used to tell me that all the time.
That's wonderful.
So I hear that. Yeah, you got to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You doing this you doing this. I don't know if you've done interviews before,
Mhm.
on television interviews. Have you?
No, this is actually my first
This is
like
going to be your first.
television, like
Well,
television
good.
one.
This will be a catalyst for you.
Nice.
You
What,
know,
what a
this is
great start.
something.
What a great
This
start.
is something you can show and say, well, this is what I've done, and I know, you know, I've talked about where I am and what I want to do, and I've got my music out there. I've got my lyrics out there, and that's important. That's important.
Yeah.
You want to move yourself forward. You
Yeah.
know, where's your studio located?
So I record all my music at Surefire Recording Studios in Lowell, Massachusetts. Shout out to Sean Caliber, shout out to Brady, shout out to Jared. Those guys are amazing, amazing, amazing people, and they're such dope people to work with and share
The
ideas with.
ideas. Do you
And I
have
also
are they your band, or do you have a band
So no, I don't have a band per se,
per
but
se?
so Sean is my like official engineer. He's
Okay.
a musical artist as well, and he's a dope artist from Harlem, New York. Shout out to him. And he's kind of like my mentor. He's the one that kind of tells me, "Yo, Muna, keep going, man," or keep coming with music, or do it this way and stuff like that. So I'm very appreciative of him. I also record, and I also want to give a few shout outs to any other artists in Boston that's looking for places to record. 100F Studios in Stoughton, Mass. A good friend of mine named Mike Gregorio. He's the owner and founder of 100F Studios. Great studio as well. Very affordable, and they allow you the creative space to do your thing, as well as New Shine Studios in Mattapan. So those three
Oh, I haven't
places,
heard
that's
of
where I
them.
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you come up with the name Relief?
Relief. Okay. Okay.
Let's talk
So
about that.
gotcha. So it was freshman year of high school. Debo and we already started recording on our computers, and
Mm,
I came up with I remember I went to him and I said, "Yo, Debo, let's create a CD. Let's create a CD with our music, and we can pass it out at our high schools." Because Debo went to Waltham High, but I went to Trinity, so we could pass them around at our school, and that would be a
yeah.
good way so people can know that we make music. And D was like, "Yeah, man, I'm absolutely down. Let's do it." So we got to working on it, and then we decided, okay, what are we gonna be known for? And a lot of different things were thrown up in the air, but the original name was Federation Relief. That was the original like name that myself, Devo, and a good friend of ours named Bert, who lives in Chicago now, that made up. But Relief came when we got a little bit older and more established and more professional in our approach. And we really stood on we really stand on the idea that we want to bring relief to music, to the industry, to entertainment, because not everything has to be hypersexualized or, aggressively distributed.
Violent.
You know, not saying that that's not good. Like
No,
I watch violent movies too. I watch music videos as well. It's great, absolutely. But we want to be the other side of the
of
fence.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which is a good thing.
Yes.
Which
Thank you.
is a good thing.
Thank you.
Now you said when you started there was another word before you decided on relief.
Yes, it was Federation Relief.
Federation. Why? What made you guys come up with federation?
So, because then
Ah,
when you're a freshman in high school, and people are like doubting you, and like just we've dealt with a lot, especially in Waltham, because at first not everybody liked us in Waltham. Not everybody wanted to hear our
I
music.
know all about Waltham.
You know about it. You know about it.
Yes, I do.
You know about it. But Waltham is a beautiful town. I love Waltham. I love the city where I come from. But
Mm,
initially we weren't getting that support, so we
right.
called ourselves Federation because we wanted to move like an army. It was us versus everybody. It was, whether we're the only rappers that are actually putting out music and
Music.
giving it to people. A lot of people in Waltham, they were rapping, but they weren't coming out with CDs. We were coming
They
out with
okay.
music,
They weren't. Yeah.
you know so
Yes.
that's why we wanted to be an army. We came in like, okay, this is the Federation of Relief. We are the army that's going to lead the way, so to speak. And sometimes I like to think we did that in Waltham, at least. I like to think we
Okay.
did that in Waltham. Yeah.
I got you. So when did you change? How long did you use Federation Relief and then change it?
Okay, so we changed it, and this is so we changed it after. So Debo went to UMass Amherst, and
Okay.
UMass Amherst, and I went to Salem State. So Debo's senior year, which was 2016, which we're both the same age, but I graduated 2 years after him.
Okay.
Debo in 2016 was he won the talent show at school, and he got to open up for Fetty Wap, Tinashe, Logic, and all these in front of the entire school, and it was a mega stage, Ms. Corbin. It was mega. It was huge where the basketball team plays. And Debo called me, he goes, Munashe, bro, we're gonna rock the stage together. And that was the most electric night of our lives. Like it was thunderous because we've never performed in front of 100, let alone 5,000.
1,000. Ah, there you go.
You know, and then then a few years go by, then I get the opportunity to perform at my school, at my alma mater, and
Right.
that was just as big, just as hype. We got to meet T-Pain that night. We got to meet P&B Rock that night. And after those two mega shows we had, we said to ourselves, like, we're grown. We've matured. We're able to do things as independent, no-name artists that a lot of people aren't afforded the luxury to be able to do. So, we've already established that we're an army. So now let's establish what we want to bring to the world. And that's when we decided, let's create Relief Music Group. And that's when the
Relief
Federation
Music.
took off. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you lost the Federation.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you feel like you're living up to that brand?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. But from what I hear, it sounds like you are. That's why I'm asking.
Thank you. Yeah. I like to think so too. Just because of the content that we put out.
Yeah.
Debo, he just put out a video last year in honor of George Floyd called "No Justice, No Peace."
Really?
Yeah, and I'll definitely send that to you. I'll definitely send you the music video and everything. But it was a powerful, powerful representation of just us as people, as colored people, and what we expect to see in our society. And it was enough to the point where the Waltham Museum, they hung up an image of Debo's music video in the museum, and that was a huge deal for Debo and for Relief. And I think by him doing that and me making the music that I make, working with the kids, just being active in the city, trying to bring some sort of relief. I think we're doing that. I like to think we're doing that.
Okay. Right. we want you to do another selection.
Okay.
Would you mind doing another selection?
I'll do another one.
I want the one about your dad.
Yes, Father's Day.
Father's Day, yeah.
Okay. If I could just give a quick background though.
Tell me, I was going to ask you, how did that come to pass?
Sorry about that. Okay, so Father's Day, I didn't grow up with my father, of course,
right.
But I had my Uncle Charles. My Uncle Charles, he filled in that void for me. But the song came about because I wanted to make a song about what would I tell my kids, like what would I tell my future children, like if I had any. So the first verse that you're gonna hear is my conversation with my future son, and then the second verse is a conversation with my future daughter.
Oh, yeah. I definitely want to hear this.
Okay. So
yeah,
it goes. Verse number 1. I'd like to dedicate this to my son. I pray I be the father that you need me to become. Rock you to sleep, hug you when you cry, teach you how to walk, keep your steps in line. I'll be at all your games. You can catch me courtside on the passenger side when you learn how to drive. See, I promise to love you and never leave you dry. I say this because I never knew mine. See, son, when I was 9, I was searching, trying to find a purpose for living because I was hurting deep inside. Whenever you fall, brush your shoulders, keep your head up. Life is filled with pain. The key is never give up. Say yes, sir. Say yes, man. Look them in the eyes when you shaking their hand. Walk like a king every time you stand. Everything the light touches is our pride land. And then the hook goes, God bless my mama, curse my father, promise to love my sons and daughters, regardless if Papa was a rolling stone. Never came home, now I'm on my own. Now I was a boy, but now I'm a man. Way too young to understand that my papa was a rolling stone. Never came home, now I'm on my own on Father's Day. And then verse two is verse number 2 is dedicated to you, flesh of my flesh, my little princess. You're the heart that's beating in my chest, the diamond that I swore to protect and never neglect. You're blessed, always come correct. Never let no man treat you with disrespect. Body is a temple and the mind is a test. Just because you're black don't mean you can't progress. I'm proud to confess, you're the apple of my eye. My heart bleeds for you every time that you cry. Love yourself and don't depend on nobody. But most important, show respect to your body. So verse number 2 is dedicated to you. My favorite hue is Jay-Z blue. It's true. At night I pray to God that he's watching you. Ever since the day you came out of the womb, my flower bloom. God bless my mama, curse my father. Promise to love my sons and daughters, regardless if Papa was a rolling stone. Never came home, now I'm on my own. Now I was a boy, but now I'm a man. Way too young to understand that my papa was a rolling stone. Never came home, now I'm on my own on Father's Day. And that's it. That's it.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. I want to ask, why did you put my papa was a Rolling Stone?
Oh, just
See, because I can pick up things.
yeah, of course,
So
of course, of course. I think because like I want the truth. The truth is, when I was writing the song and I was coming up with the hook, I wanted something that was catchy and relatable to all ages, to all demographics. Because I'm not the only person who grew up without their father, and there are
that's
people.
true.
There's some of there are older people that are so wise that grew up without their
Yeah,
fathers too.
that's right.
And I feel like I wanted to make it. I wanted to put that part in the hook as the grabber because I feel like people would be like, "Oh my goodness, okay, so he's tapping into the Temptations, or he's tapping into
That's right.
something that I believe in too."
Then,
So
yeah, because that caught me. I said, Papa was a Rolling Stone.
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. I love it. I
Thank
like
you,
it.
brother.
I love your writing. Now I'm going to ask you, when I listened to both of these pieces earlier, you had music behind them.
Yes.
And here we don't have any music behind them.
Well,
And
yeah. So go ahead.
and but it was just as good because it was more profound and I could understand
Okay.
the wording and what the words meant. And I'm saying to myself, okay, this is what he's saying.
Okay.
And this is what he means because it's coming from his heart. Like you said, you were raised without your dad, you know, and you know that feeling,
Mm.
but still you incorporated that into a song.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing with mom.
Mm-hmm.
You want to buy your mom a house.
Yeah.
That's incorporating what you want to do into into your music
Yeah.
and into your lyrics. And that's phenomenal because it's life, you know,
Thank you.
and life moves on. Life moves on.
Mm.
Your mom raised you. You came here to this country when you were 2,
Mm.
and you grew. You've been in different places. You know about Boston.
Yeah. That's right.
Everybody knows about Boston.
Love that dirty water.
I hear you. I clean mine.
Right. That's right. Always.
I hear
Always.
you. I hear you. I hear you.
Mm.
When are you writing now?
Yeah, I'm actually almost I'm 80%, 90% done with my next studio album.
Really?
Yeah. And
Mm.
this next album is gonna really it's gonna really tackle like mental health, like stuff like that.
Okay.
Like just because with the whole pandemic and
Pandemic
everything,
thing, yes.
so this one I'm hoping to bring relief by showing my mental health insecurities, my mental health problems, things that
Right.
I struggle with every single day.
Okay.
Mm.
And don't we all
Yeah,
struggle with them every day. Some people like to think they don't, and some people know they do.
for sure, for
You
sure.
know,
For
I would love to hear a piece of that. And
sure.
not today, but we're
Yes,
gonna do this again.
absolutely.
I,
And I'll send you all my exclusives. I'll send
I
you everything
really
I
would
got.
like to do this again
For sure. Same here.
because this is amazing. And to learn somebody, know somebody who's coming up and been doing this a bit, and you want to, you want to move forward. What do you want to see your music? What do you want to see your music contribute to? I
I
mean,
would
I
like
realize relief. I get that because
for sure,
relief.
for
But
sure.
what do you want to see going forward? What do you want to?
What I hope is I hope that, and this is just a dream, like a vision that I have at times, but I would love to
Visions are
see.
good.
That's right. That's right. I would love to see like the next generation of like kids, like teenagers, um, really push my music and not just mine, but like conscious based music. And I,
Yes.
I would love to see like my nephew's age, kids my nephew's age, just be like, hey man, listen, that music y'all was listening to is cool and everything. But do you hear what this sister's saying? Do you hear the consciousness within her mind? Do you hear what this brother's saying? Do you hear the consciousness within his mind? If kids can get to that,
That point.
oh my goodness. That means the parents have no choice. Parents have no choice but to buy into um uplifting,
Yes.
conscious based, Afrocentric,
Thank you.
music from us. Like say like Erica Badu, like that sort of
Oh
vibes,
yeah. Yep.
Indie R,
Mhm.
those type of feelings. So if the next generation can go on TikTok and make Indie Re's sound of
Sun
music
music.
popular, ooh, ooh, mission accomplished.
Very true. Very true. Mission would be accomplished.
But
You know.
it's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah. It's great having you.
Thank you so
Took
much.
a minute.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Took a minute.
It took a minute, but I'm so glad we was able to make this happen, Miss Corbin. Thank you so
I
much.
really am. I'm going to have you back again.
Oh, I'm here.
I'm just saying, I want to have you back again.
I'm here.
Definitely when definitely when your next CD comes out, I want to be the one that opens up the CD saying, oh, well,
For
Relief
sure.
has got a new one and this is what's happening.
For sure. For sure.
You
I'll
know?
definitely let you know.
Where are you performing anywhere? Are you guys performing anywhere?
So we're because we have our own company now. We want to start putting together our own showcases in the city and giving other artists the opportunity to perform as well. I'm hoping once like the mandates and stuff go down,
Yep,
then we can
supposed to start on Friday.
Yep, I saw that too.
I
I'm
ain't taking
hoping
off my mask.
That's right. That's right.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Y'all gonna have to wait a minute.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. But I'm hoping hopefully this summer Devo and I we can sit down and put together a nice showcase for people, so nice
You ever heard of
showcase.
do you know do you know of a festival called BAM Fest?
No, I've never
Ever
heard of
heard of
that.
them?
No.
We must talk.
Yes,
We
please.
must talk.
Please.
Because I do.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I got you.
Amazing folks. Amazing folks.
Nice.
I know the founder. Amazing.
Oh, wow, okay.
Amazing woman.
Oh, wow, thank you.
And I need to turn you on to her.
All right.
Because this is what she does. This is what she wants to see.
Nice.
And I think y'all would be a perfect to be on that lineup. To be on that lineup, absolutely.
One day.
Oh yes. Yeah. I'm not sure. We can keep talking because I'm not sure where we are in time here.
Okay.
But I'm. But I'm Oh, okay. That answers my question.
Mm.
We couldn't figure out time. So, hey, I didn't know, but now I know.
That's right. That's right.
That's I know you said you're working on you're working on a new CD
Mhm.
that's coming up. What is it? What is it geared to? I know relief music, I get that.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
what is this particular CD geared to? In other words, what is it? What is the main concept of this particular CD?
Okay. So honestly, what the main gear for this next project, because I feel what inspired it is I have a lot of friends of mine, and we engage in debate a lot, and
Yeah,
we oftentimes kind of address certain social issues, political issues, stuff like that. And I'm very vocal, right? Like I'm very
I
vocal
know.
about about certain things,
Yes.
but I've learned like I've learned kind of that like me being so vocal, it might play in with a lot of deep rooted issues within myself.
Okay.
So
Oh,
with this album, I want to show I kind of want to explain to people why I am the way I am, why I think the way that I do, and why I suffer with certain like certain psychological, not psychological, but certain like tweaks in my
tweaks
brain.
in your life. Okay, I
Certain
get
tweaks,
that.
you
I
know.
get that clearly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but the beauty of this next project is the process of doing it. I only have like my closest friends helping me and assisting me with this project.
Okay, so that
Um,
means it's very personal.
very personal, but it's very in house as well.
Okay.
My best friend in college, Evan Gregorio. Shout out to Evan, Creator E. He has his own media company. This is Atu, but it's called Atu,
Oh, okay.
and he's gonna be doing the creative visual direction. So he's gonna be directing the entire music videos and all that.
Mm,
Um, I'm gonna go back to Surefire Studios to record it, and
okay.
I'm also looking and searching for other like marketing people who could help me with marketing as well. But as far as like to answer your question, sorry, I was rambling, but like
No,
to
no, ramble.
answer, sorry, but
I like that.
okay. But to answer your question, that's what I want. I want this next album to kind of be the psych evaluation to Muna, to Munashe. Like
Okay.
so when people listen to it, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I think the same way he does,"
There you
or
go.
they'll say, "Oh, okay, I understand now why he goes
He
off the
goes off.
rails sometimes." So
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Yeah.
you know,
I personally think that musicians, musical people do that.
yes,
You're not the only person, you're young and I get you and I understand that, but I know musicians that are like that. They will go off in the other direction and you don't know why. Then you have to pick it out and you have to drag it out. And
yeah,
then you can tell through their music why,
yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. So what is the time frame for this?
Um, so as far as
Yeah.
like the writing
Yes.
aspect of it, I'm
Who's
like
writing?
90% done. Yeah, I'm 90% done with the
You're
writing.
90% done.
I'm hoping to go to Surefire and start recording end of May or early June. If it can be in that time period, then the train's on schedule.
Okay.
Train is on schedule. I have a few dates in my head, but I'll share with you the dates like on a
And
private text
so, yes, no problem.
Just
Yeah,
because
we'll share later.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just because
Because
in
I
my
want
through
to
my
keep in touch
career.
with you. You know that.
Oh yeah, oh yes,
I
oh
got
yeah.
you now.
That's
If
right.
I don't have you, I will find Stephen
That's right, and he'll find
and
me.
and I
He'll
will
let me
tell
know.
Stephen to find you.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Because I like I like what I'm hearing. I like the conversation,
So,
and and there's the stuff I might be able to help you with. in that in that respect.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Miss Corbin. Thank you very much.
Do you have anything you want to say to my audience before we wrap up? We got a few minutes.
Well, first things first. Thank you very much to the city of Boston and to those in the city of Boston who know me personally. I know a lot of people, but like for those of you who know me personally, I value our friendship. I value our interactions with one another. My heart will always be in Boston, Massachusetts, Waltham, of course, but just
this is where the road began.
This is where the road exactly.
This is where the road began.
And Boston saved my life. The Boston Children's Hospital, just everything. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I could say that to your wide audience, if there's one thing I could say about Muna, about myself, it's just thank you for everything, for all the support and for teaching me how to be tough too, because Boston taught me how to be tough.
Oh, I know. It can do that to you.
It'll do that to you.
It can do that to you.
It'll do.
I've known it from. Hey, I was born and raised here. It can do it to you.
It'll do it to you. Yeah.
Because I'm a first generation Bostonian.
That's right. That's right.
No, my parents came from my mom and my grandparents migrated here from the South.
Okay.
I'm first generation Bostonian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like North Carolina, South Carolina, that area, or Georgia. Okay, nice. Yeah. Wonderful.
There you go. Absolutely.
Have you been back? Have you seen family?
I have never been to Georgia in my life.
Okay.
My mother has not been back home since she was 4.
Okay. I understand. Gotcha. All right.
But yeah.
If I could give just a few shout outs.
Go ahead.
Before we leave.
Sure.
First things first, shout out to BNN, shout out to Ms. Corbin, thank you so much. Shout out to Debo, Evan, Zach, HBZ Media. Shout out to my brother Morv Abelli from Lynn, Mass. Shout out to Sean Caliber. Shout out to Relief Music Group. Shout out to everybody I know. Hillary Banks from Waltham. She's another dope female rapper as well. Y'all check her out too, man. And I just got so much love to everybody. AK to Don, Connie, shout out to him. Nick Dell, he's another dope Bostonian artist as well, man. And I'm just very thankful for this opportunity, man. And if I forgot your name, I apologize, but shout out to everybody.
You can shout out to Nana now.
Oh yeah, shout out to Nana. That's my Nana, y'all. Y'all need to know that.
Now you can shout out to Nana.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Goodness. Steven's got his own name for me.
I know.
You know what it is.
All right. That's right.
It's like, okay, Steven, you worked my last nerve. And you know what it's like trying to get him? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Oh, and shout out to Steven. Steven, yes. That's my brother. Like,
if it wasn't for him, I would not know you.
Yeah. Shout out to Steven Pryor. He's such a wonderful soul, man.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
He's really my soul brother. Soul brother. So
I hear you. Munashe,
yes,
Muna,
ma'am.
It's been wonderful having you.
Thank you.
It's been a great conversation.
Yes, same here.
We will do this again soon.
Yes, we will.
Because now I know where your timeline is.
Yep.
And we will talk more.
Definitely.
You have an amazing, blessed day.
You too.
And be safe.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You too.
I am Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host, and you have been on with Artist of Color, and my guest has been Munashe. Thank you and have an amazing day.